Hello, friends, and thank you for joining me once again. Today, I come to you with kind of a burden on my heart because I have been trying to make this video on some practical little things that we can do to avoid and to prevent and to possibly even treat the coronavirus. But I have still tried to do my best to research and to get some good information to you. And while I do this, time is passing, and seeing what is happening around the world and in our country, I have decided that I cannot wait any longer. I cannot do research anymore. I have to do something. So this is the first of a two-part video, and I want to apologize for the quality of the video as well. It's a little bit bouncy because of some technical issues that I'm having, and I've tried to get a handle on. Now, it is interesting that the Bible talks about little things. In Luke chapter 16, verse 10, the Bible tells us that he who is faithful in little things is also faithful in in big things. But he who is unfaithful in little things will also be unfaithful in big things. So what are some little things that we can do regarding this coronavirus outbreak? I want to show you something. I'm going to, let's see if I can share my screen here with you so you can see. And so first of all, do you know who Deborah Birx is? So this is, as you can see here on the state.gov website, she is a US government official. She's in charge of US Global AIDS Coordinator and US Special Representative for Global Health Diplomacy. Also, the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. Nowadays, she is one of the coordinators working with Dr. Anthony Fauci to combat the COVID-19 and the coronavirus. So she's part of the team that directs and guides the US government. Now, what is interesting is that just the other day, probably on March 30th or March 31st, she made the following comment, and I want to read to you. She says this: there is no magic bullet. There is no magic vaccine or therapy, just behaviors. So she's saying that when it comes to a cure, when it comes to solving this problem of the COVID-19 and coronavirus, we don't have a lot. We only have behaviors. Now, what do you call a group of behaviors that people are engaging themselves in over and over again? I want to say to you that we call it lifestyle. So we don't have a vaccine, we don't have a cure, we don't have medication, but what she says is all we have at this stage, well, we have tests, right? We have tests, but that doesn't solve the problem. But we have behaviors, little things. Now, I want to show you some of the little things that we can do. I actually got this from a friend of mine who gave me this, again, sorry for the bouncy video, a friend of mine who sent this to us, and this is what it says. Remember, faithfulness in little things. So I trust God and I wear my seatbelt, right? I trust God and I wear a motorcycle helmet. I trust God and there are enough life jackets in my boat for everyone on board. I trust God and I use oven mitts with really hot dishes. It would be irresponsible, right, to try to get, maybe pray first and then say, Lord, please help my hands not to get burned when you take something hot out of the oven. That would be stupid. It would be silly, right? So yes, we trust God, but we have to do our part. I trust God and I lock my house at night. I trust God and I have smoke detectors in my house. I trust God and I take the prescribed medicine. I trust God and I will follow the best guidelines to share the task of flattening the curve of coronavirus. Dr. Burke said the same thing. All we have is behaviors, is the little things, is a lifestyle. Acting with caution and wisdom does not indicate a lack of trust in God. These are things that we all can do, but there is more. There is more. And I want to invite you to maybe down below in the comment sections, write some of the things that you are doing. What are you doing to protect yourself and your family from this COVID-19 pandemic? Anyway, I wanna move on, and the next piece of information I want to give you, that this is not the first pandemic that our world is facing, right? Probably the latest mega pandemic. You know, we've had some of these SARS, but these were not really pandemics. They were quite well contained. You know, we had the swine flu as well, but the last great pandemic was probably the Spanish flu. And maybe I'm going to make a video as to why we call it the Spanish flu. But anyway, that's a different video. But what happened? 1918, 1919, 100 years ago, right at the end of First World War, it decimated populations. It killed, between minor estimates are between 25 to 50. But I've heard estimates now with better records from different countries, that between 50 to 100 million people who were killed by this Spanish flu. Now, I want to show you something that I find amazing. And this comes from actual records from that time. And I am going to go here and I'm going to share. So we've seen Mrs. Deborah here. But what I want to show you is this. So listen to this. This is a magazine called The Advent Review and the Sabbath Herald. This magazine comes to us from January 9, 1919. More than 100 years ago, right? 101, more than 101 years ago. What was happening at that time? Well, President Woodrow Wilson, who, by the way, also got the Spanish flu but survived it, he went to the peace conference in Paris to end World War I. Well, by the way, I'm going to put links to all these documents in the description below, so you can check it out for yourself. But if you go to the last page, there is a little article, and it's right here on the bottom right corner. Let me make it a little bit bigger so we can see. But so this is a reprint of an article that came out into the Hutchinson Leader. That's the name of the newspaper, the Hutchinson Leader. And this town of Hutchinson is found in Minnesota, about an hour west of Minneapolis. So as it says here, in the December 13 edition of the Hutchinson Leader, the newspaper gives this compliment to the Hutchinson Seminary in its management and treatment of the influenza epidemic from which it recently suffered. So it says this. I'm going to read here this one paragraph. On the authority of Dr. Fred Shepard, health officer of Hutchinson City, it may be stated that no public institution in the state of Minnesota has up to date made a record in handling influenza, the worldwide epidemic that has swept millions into their graves. So nobody has done such a good job in handling this influenza like the way the Hutchinson Seventh-day Adventist Seminary did. So this was a Danish-Norwegian seminary, and the story goes, you can read it here. I will put the link below in the description. They had about 120 people who lived, students and staff who lived under one roof. They had more than that in the entire seminary, but in this particular building, in this dormitory, 120 people. Out of these 120 people, 90 of them contacted the flu, the Spanish flu virus. So they became infected. What the article says is that none of them, out of 90, not even one of them died. Every single one recovered. The issue is, and why they say that this was a record, is because Spanish flu at that time, the mortality rate was about 40%. However, here we see people doing little things, being faithful in little things. And out of 90, not even one died as a result of this. Friends, why am I doing this video? Is because I believe there are little things that you and your loved ones can do to prevent and to treat and to lessen the symptoms of this coronavirus today. Now, we have fancy and modern medicine, but we see that hospitals are struggling to keep up with the demand. We do not have enough ventilators. We do not have enough, a lot of things, not even, masks for the doctors and the nurses. So the situation may be dire, but there are some little things that we can do. I'm going to probably end this video. Here in the article talks a little bit about what are the little things that they were doing. I'm going to put a description below to a program called New Start. This is all full of little things that you can do today to help prevent and also to treat influenza. In the second part of this video, I'm going to show you another resource from that time, from 1919, that describes much more in detail what they did in the Seventh-day Adventist health system, which the people from the seminary also took the same treatment options in dealing with this flu pandemic. Friends, this is it for now. I want to thank you again, and please share this video with people around. There are many people who are afraid. There are many people who are asking themselves, what can I do? What can I do to protect my family, my children, my elderly parents perhaps? So I want to encourage you to share this with them, and also watch out for the second part of this video. Until then, may God bless you and take care of yourself and your family, and let's all stay healthy. If you'd like to subscribe, it would make me very happy. Also, please click the notification button, that bell-shaped icon, and you will be notified when I post the next video. Thank you.